All right, man. We are live. Welcome back to Sports Scrutiny Live, guys. Been telling you guys all week that we are going to be welcoming our special guest co-host, Mr. Eric Showtime Shelton from the UFC.
What's up,
Welcome
guys?
aboard, man.
How you
Welcome
doing, man?
aboard.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes, sir. No, man. Once again, just want to thank you for coming in. We definitely appreciate it. Rob couldn't be here with us today. He's busy doing some work, so you just stuck with BJ today, man.
Oh yeah, no problem, boss.
All right, Eric. So first of all, let everybody know what got you started in MMA.
Man, I started I started by I went to a gym, man, when I was younger with the guy I went to school with, and he kicked my butt pretty good, man, and I just fell in love. I was just like, man, I gotta keep doing it till I get good at it, and that's where it started.
Yeah, heck yeah. I mean, so all right, so you literally just walked into a gym and you just got started. I mean, that's how a lot of people. That's a lot of answers that we get, from people who do this. So you were in the Ultimate Fighter. That's where I first got familiar with Eric Shelton, and they ranked you pretty low, man. But you definitely shocked us when you made it all the way to the quarterfinals. Tell us about your experience in the Tough House.
Man, that was awesome, man. I was blessed to be able to do it. Getting in the house, I thought it was gonna be a little harder than it was. Like on my season, they picked the champion, so I didn't have to go through like a, they usually do like a process to get in the house, but they just actually had us chosen, and then they did an interview process, and then they chose us from that. So it was a little easier to get in the house for the season that I did. But when I got in there, man, it was just you're restricted from talking to people that you usually talk to every day, and you just get to train with the best though, and train with the best coaches, and it was the best feeling, to be able to train with the best, and I felt like I got to learn a lot about myself. So
Right.
I don't know, man, it was a blessing to be able to do it, and I felt like I did well on the show.
Yeah, most definitely. You did very well. You fought let's see. You were coached by Joseph Benavidez. How did that feel being coached by someone that you could potentially fight down the road?
Yeah, that was different, man. It was cool though. Me and Joe still stay in contact. I still talk to him here and there. Um, a lot of the relationships I got on that show, I still stay in contact with those guys. Yeah, it's all business though. We all train together, but we all know we could potentially fight. So I think it's just all business for most of us, and it was cool for me.
Well, who would you say you were closest to in the house?
Right now I still stay in contact with my boy Rizzo the most. But I also stay in contact with Danger, Brandon too. See, it's just hard to say because there's so many of them I stay in contact with. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm about to be out there at American Top Team though, so I'll be training with Jamie Alvarez. He's out there, so he was in the house too. So yeah, man, it'll be cool. I think I'm cool with all of them though.
Okay. So tell us what has it been? How's it been so far? Knowing that your name is finally on a UFC roster. How does that feel?
It feels good, man. I dreamt it so much, so now that it's happened, it's just like I already envisioned it so many times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so it's I feel blessed. I feel like I got so much more to prove, though. With how it's went this far. Obviously it hasn't went my way, and I feel my fight. So I'm just trying to get better, man. So right now I'm looking into transferring over to American Top Team and just seeing what I can get learned out there, and having the better training partners, and different looks and stuff. See what that helps, for my career. I think it'll be a good move for me though.
Yeah, man, most definitely, most definitely. So, do you feel like well, you said obviously that things hadn't went your way so far in the UFC, and to me that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone has to go back, everyone has to regroup, get themselves together, and come back and do it again. What do you think you're going to do differently besides changing who you're training with? What do you think you're going to do differently, to make sure that you get the W every time?
Man, I feel training. I have to push myself harder in training. I feel like it's mental for me. This whole journey's been real mental for me, and I've been in a I'm starting to get in a better place mentally. In my life, and with everything, getting everything in order. So I feel like it's just gonna it just takes time, for some people. It's not always just a straight shot like it was for McGregor and some of these other
Yeah.
dudes. Everybody's journey is different. You know what I mean? So, I don't like to sit and dwell on everybody else. I'll just try to just do my thing. And right now, I think what I'm doing and making this move and get my life in order is really what I need to focus on. And so yeah, man, that's pretty much it for me. I just need to start grinding and get my mind right.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you a week in the life of Eric Shelton's obviously a father. You made that very, very clear on the Ultimate Fighter that you're a dad, and
Yes, sir.
you love your kids very much. Walk us through, a week of training with Eric Shelton.
Well, it's wake up, go to the gym, man. I try to do my own thing in the morning. I usually go and do weights and cardio in the morning, and then I have our no gi on Tuesday, Thursday with our no gi instructor, and then Pete Spratt after that. So I usually just do like three sessions, 3 times a day or 3 times a week, and then two for 2 of those days. So I'm always training, man. And then I have my daughter, in between that. I got to pick her up from school, take her home,
Yeah.
do her homework. So I try to get my nap in between my sessions. It's just, it's constant, bro. It really is a constant hustle, but, I love it. So that's what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So where do you see Eric Shelton fitting in a division with a champion so dominant as Demetrius Johnson? I mean, what do you think Eric Shelton fits in that?
Yeah, man. That's the thing, man. A lot of guys, they always ask that question because he's so dominant, man. And it's hard to answer that because I can't never say because I've seen him beat guys that are fast. I've seen him beat guys that are strong. I've seen him beat all these different styles of fighters. But I've never been finished by anybody. Nobody I've fought in the UFC or under the UFC has finished me. I'm not gonna go out there and get beat up. And the better I get mentally and the better I get physically, I feel like I'm gonna be the only one to match up with him. I have the speed, I have the strength, I got it all, man. It's just I haven't been able to show it the way I can showcase it, in the gym. When I'm able to spark that, man, it's gonna be trouble for the division, man. I promise
Well,
that.
yeah, well, you're a young guy, you know what I'm saying? So you got plenty of time to hone in your craft, man. It's I've spoken to a couple of older fighters, and they say, sometimes it takes a little longer for some of them, you know what I'm saying, to because if you don't feel it, you know what I'm saying, like they say if you don't feel it within yourself, that you don't feel it's not going to show, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Some people, they say, it takes multiple fights, you know what I'm saying, on the to get there.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about? You mean you're a small guy? Have you ever thought about moving up to bantamweight?
Going up to bantamweight, see, man, that's a nah. I like 25. I like 25, and I know there's a lot of guys coming from a way heavier weight than I walk at. You know what I mean? I'm walking at 38 every day. So I'm not really that big. So I mean, if I put on muscle, I mean, if the 25 division went away, that would be the move, obviously. But yeah, if until then, I'm sticking to 25.
Yeah, yeah. So weight cuts. I mean, is it something that's just part of the job, or is it something that you don't look forward to?
It's just part of the job for me. It's not really that hard. I've had a couple hard weight cuts, but that's just, I guess it happens. But for the most part, my weight cuts are usually pretty smooth sailing. It's all
Yeah,
pretty smooth, and I got it down to a science, I guess, with my body.
yeah, absolutely. You know your own body. You know your own
Yeah.
body. Let me ask you this: there's a lot of stuff going on right now. The 125 division seems to be uh, a bunch of guys who just come to work, don't get involved in a whole bunch of mess. You guys just show up, do your job, and that's it. But it seems in a couple of these other divisions, there's a lot of controversy going on with champion, not champion, paper champions. What's your thoughts on all of this, especially with the lightweight division with Khabib and Connor and Eddie and all those guys? What you think, man?
Man, that's a lot of different, personalities clashing, and they're also high level, bro. It's hard to say, and I think Connor keeps their division, the 55, sparked, bro. He keep it alive. You know what I mean? He does his little whatever. I mean, it's crazy. It's just funny to me. It's I like to watch it and read up on it, man. It's just funny. I don't know. I don't really think too much of it. They're doing their thing and they're getting paid. Shoot,
Yeah,
can't be mad at them.
they're getting paid. So, what do you think about some of these upcoming fights, man? What you think about Megan Anderson versus Holly Holm?
Megan Anderson. I've been seeing a lot of her like videos. On the mitt, she looks real nice, and a couple of her highlights I've seen, she's smooth. And I know her coach, and he's a great coach. So she comes from a good gym. I don't know, man. Holly's she's a veteran. You know what I mean? And I think it's gonna be a tough one for her though. But I don't know who you got for that one.
Oh man, I can't say, man. I can't say on live. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
But I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. I'm gonna have to go with Holly Holmes, just because she's been there, done that. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's true. But the thing to me, I just think with Holly, when it comes to Holly, I think Holly should have stayed at 135 because
Yeah,
these girls at 145, these are like a different breed of girl. Like when the UFC signs some legit featherweight females,
man.
it's that's I think that's that's a lot of power coming from
That
those girls.
is, because they're
You know?
coming in. They're fighting hard now, man. There's a different breed of women coming in now, especially at that division. Like you said, man, they're big, they're strong, they got that muscle, and a lot of them have a good resume. So that 45 division is kind of dangerous for her. I
Well,
feel
there's
that
a
for
lot.
sure.
Well, being a true MMA fan like I am, and I watch all these different organizations like Bellator and King of the Cage and all these different organizations, and you see these flyweights coming in. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about this up and coming competition? Because you're in that category right now. Like you just come from tough. You've had couple fights in the UFC. You know what I'm saying? So after your generation moves up, there's going to be another one coming in. How do you feel you're going to welcome those guys in?
That's man, it's hard to say because I guess I don't do too much studying on a lot of guys coming in. I know about the guys that I'm trying to get to, so I'm not really looking. You know, I guess I'm not looking back. I'm looking forward. I'm trying to get to where I want to be, and that's to Demetrius. And obviously, I got to get through a lot of guys that are high caliber. So I'm really worried about them, and I'm trying to get through them. So top 10 is where my eyes are at right now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what you think about Nunez Pennington?
Nunez Pennington. I'm gonna have to run with Nunez, man. That's my girl, dude. She's a beast, dude. You can't say nothing bad about her. Think she
And,
grinded for where she's at, man, and she's held her own. You know what I mean?
and that goes back to what you were saying about those featherweight girls, saying this new breed of girls coming in. To me, Amanda Nunez you could consider Amanda Nunez a veteran because she's been around for a while. But if you look at what she's done, you know what I'm saying? Like she's pushed those Strike Force girls out. Like
Yeah,
she's
dude.
like she beat up Misha. She beat up Misha. She beat up Ronda. You know what I'm saying? So next is Raquel Pennington. You know what I'm saying? But what gets me about Amanda Nunez is I just don't see anybody in that division right now.
Messing with her, man. It's
Yeah,
what's the girl's name that she just fought? I can't pronounce it. I don't
I'm talking
think.
about Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah, Valentina. Yeah, her. That's her. I feel her toughest competition in the division, and that fight is gonna be good every time. You know what I mean? So until somebody comes along and I feel proves that I feel like it's always gonna be her and her. You know what I mean? At the top of the division, almost like Bones and Daniel. You know what I mean?
Woo! That's a whole nother. Speaking of DC, Steve, what you think about Stipe versus DC?
I can't bet against DC, man. I can never, unless it's fighting Bones, it's just hard because he was up there at heavyweight smashing fools before.
Yeah,
He was
yeah, he was.
slamming people like it was nothing then. So it's hard to say. DC's my man. I think he's underrated. I think he's doesn't get the respect he deserves. Definitely.
He definitely does
So
not.
so is Stipe though. So
So, guys, you heard it. I mean, Eric Shelton is transferring to American Top Team, so we're gonna see some really good things come from Eric Shelton, guys, because American Top Team I mean, they're it's a whole different kind of camp. A lot of stars come out of there. But my next question is: have you had any idea of your next opponent? Have they reached out to you?
no, man. Really just looking at dates right now. I don't have an opponent. Nothing really. I haven't even talked about nothing. I guess I should get on there and get on my McGregor and start calling people out, but it's just not my style. So I'll just wait on what they give me, and see what they want from me. So I'm ready for whoever though, man. Once I get out there, get this camp going, I'm excited. You know what I mean? I feel like it's another spark for my life. You know, another
Is it
step.
is there anybody that you got on your radar? That's the
All
question.
right, everybody in the top 10 on my radar, man. Every one of them. So yeah, nobody specifically, but like I said, I'm ready for whoever.
Yeah. So quick question. How'd you get the name Showtime? How'd you come up with that?
Man, at my first gym I was at, man, my coach was like, man, you move like a spider monkey, but and then they said, or Showtime, spider monkey or Showtime, and it was pretty much between those two, and I wasn't going with spider monkey, so I was like, let's go with let's go with Showtime. So Eric Showtime Shelton it was, man, and I just kind of ran with it. It was
Yeah.
smooth. I liked how it flowed.
Yeah, it definitely flows. A couple more questions, man. So you're speaking to people who never fought or anything like that. What does it feel like when you're walking out to the UFC octagon, especially your first time? How did it feel?
It was surreal, man. The first time I kind of I regretted not being in the moment as much. I was so excited and it's all giddy. It wasn't. I didn't really embrace it as much as I did the times after. But man, it's surreal. It's just like all these people are watching you. The whole world. Really, and it's I feel blessed, and pretty soon it's just gonna be natural. It's starting to get more and more natural for me every walk. So I'm just starting to tune into who I'm gonna be, man, and I just want people to stay tuned. And it's gonna be, I promise, I'm always put on the show. That's really why they call me Showtime, my man.
Most definitely. Oh yeah. Well, man, we're excited to see what you're gonna do. We're excited to see how you're going to evolve in the flyweight division, how things are going to shape up. We're definitely looking forward to it. Most definitely. But is there anybody you want to give a shout out to, man?
Yeah, man. Always a shout out to my coach Pete Spratt. Shout out to American Top Team. Hopefully getting out there soon. Shout out to my family, all my fans that stay tuned for my journey. Everybody, and then first round management, of course. They always hook me up and keep me in line. So yeah, man. That's about it, boss. And shout out to you for having me on the show, boss.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We appreciate it. Hopefully one day when Showtime becomes and new, we'll get you back on here,
Yes,
man,
sir.
and
Oh,
we'll
no
get you back
doubt.
on here and get you talking.
Yeah.
Well, guys, there it is. Don't want to take up too much of this guy's time. There you have it. UFC flyweight, Eric Showtime Shelton. Eric, man, we appreciate you coming by, and we will catch up with you next time, man.
Appreciate it, boss. You have a good one, brother.
You too, man.
Later.
Later.